Alright, well, this is my game. It's supposed to be like a role-playing game. It's called Farmer's Calendar. The concept behind it, I'll go ahead and just click start to give you the instructions. Basically, you pick your diet, activities, and the things that you use, which, in gaming language, I guess would be your inventory, for a 52-week year. And you basically choose everything that you're doing for an entire week. So you choose these things 52 times, and as you go, you collect money, you collect inventory. If you have things, if you get more than you use, and that affects your final score. For example, if you were choosing your daily activities, then you would click actions and choose your actions block, which I'll show you in a minute. And for each day you have a morning, evening, and night where you choose what you do and what you eat. I pressed the button, that was silly. So this happens 3 times a day, which equals a week, because who would want to play that for 350 odd times. And to buy more things, then you have to shop, and in order to shop, you have to work, and in order to do that, you have to make the time for it. So rather than always buying food, you can also garden after you buy the initial tools that it would take to do that. And food does have an expiration date, so rather than letting it go bad, you can can it. So I'll go ahead and show you. You can see the blocks for the action and the meal for morning, evening, and night each day. And you can see the actions tab, which would show you what available actions you have in the brown squares over here. The shop tab, which would do the same and show you what's available to be purchased, and your inventory, which would show you what you have. And I think there are enough blocks here to fill in pretty much anything you'd need for all the inventory that you'd have at any given time. And you can see at the top that you would have week, which would tell you what out of your 52-week year you're on, and your money, which shows you how much cash you have. And for an example, here's, if you click the actions tab, here's what would fill in. You can work, exercise, which again would decrease your weight at the end. At the end, your score would basically be your weight, how much gas you used throughout the course of the year, which is basically includes the gas that it would take to buy grocery store produce rather than local produce, and just a general score based on how good your choices were. You can also shop, have just fun, which it doesn't do as much for you as exercising, but it doesn't waste as much of your, it sort of is just a different kind of scoring. And then there's can and garden. That's pretty much all that I have for now, but I mean, if I were to come in for another semester, then in order to complete it, I would basically have to make the shop tab work and fill it in with things that you can purchase, make the inventory work, which would fill it in with things that you have purchased, and then make it work so that your action and meal would be able to drag and drop from the above icons, and once you fill them all in, it would automatically go to the next week. So that's pretty much it. I guess I'll turn it over to you guys.
Hey, great job. This is a really cool game, and it's a good example of a type of game that we haven't seen a lot of, which is a simulation. It's a really cool and interesting way of thinking, and it's one that is typical of a really logical mind. And I'm wondering if you're the kind of person that got really into the coding on this, and maybe what was, maybe you could change, just describe what was your most challenging part and how you problem solved when you hit an obstacle and how you ended up, um, you know, doing, what was your problem solving process like?
Well, as far as the coding for the demo is pretty simple, but if I were to take it further, the coding would probably be a real challenge because this isn't really something that comes up every day, and it's not to say it hasn't been done, but because in order to sort of explain what I was talking about with this, I had to go back and find some examples of it. And most of them are sadly sort of these really corny dating simulators, but they make you go through the things that you would do each day and make you go through a duration of time, and you basically have to make the proper choices in order to continue. So this is similar, but the context is completely different. But those games still had a lot more animation, which this is a lot more straightforward. So in order to just figure out what the coding would need to be in order to continue your scoring and to progress would probably be a really big challenge if I were to continue to do that. But really the biggest challenge that I came up with, not coding aside, was just explaining what I was talking about basically, because it's once you see it all laid out, it's not that difficult to understand, but prior to that, it was a lot more daunting to let people know what I was talking about.
Okay, actually we have to wrap it up.